Mhm.
But after you get done saying all of that,
Mhm.
still have you and three little people that got to be housed.
Right.
So
And that's the
here's
key.
what I'm gonna ask you to do. I'm gonna pass it. Go have a seat and think about what you need.
A photo of a bat that, ironically, because they had the outside of the house painted, the bat has paint on it. The dead bat has paint on it. How can you say there's no evidence of a bat infestation when your painters painted the dead bat? The flies were from a combination of rat and bat feces in the attic and moisture coming from an improperly working bathroom fan and just moisture from that bathroom. If they don't feel forced, they will sit back and do nothing. In the meantime, they'll collect their $2,400 a month rent.
Let me at least call this one. See. Crime Property Management versus Amber, is it Wordia?
Amber, what do you ask?
All right. Where are we on this case?
Tenant currently owes, including costs, 9361.19. I don't think she has made all of the escrow payments. And she mentioned a maintenance issue to me today. And my client had someone there on the 22nd of August and took care of, one thing.
Well, just so I'm clear, it's a new issue that was raised just now.
New to me.
Raised here, but it was raised previously and never taken care of.
Okay.
They double checked for bats in the attic. No evidence. There was a report of mushrooms in the bathroom and they found one. And apparently, according to the maintenance company, it would take a while for this mushroom to develop, but bathroom moisture is, of course, a part of regular home maintenance. So I don't know. I don't know what the tribal issue is here.
My issue
Go ahead.
is that, and I filed a counterclaim against them. Since I moved in the beginning, which was 3 years ago, they've had a pattern of neglect of the home. The home is an 1800s historic home. Apparently was vacant for about 6 to 8 years before we moved in, which we didn't know. It was severely neglected. We didn't know. So when we moved in, there were rats, there were flies, there were all kinds of insects. There were dangerous code violations throughout the
When
entire
did you
house.
move in?
We moved in 2022, either 2021 or 2022. I don't have the lease in front of me, but I repeatedly asked them to take care of all the code violations. We had no smoke alarms, we had no railings of the stairs, many safety issues. They continue to blow me off like they do now. And the only time they ever got serious about fixing any of the issues was when I went to code enforcement. Code enforcement issued a violation statement and they had several things that they were supposed to fix. They fixed some of those things. Mr. Fink will say that I continue to rent after the fact. That is true.
She's got it.
That is true because there is a housing crisis. It's not easy for people to just move whenever they feel like it. You had my security deposit. I had taken time off of work. I'd rented a moving vehicle. I had lined up people to help me move. I'm a single parent. I don't have just helpers all the time. It's not that easy for people to just move. So I had already invested quite a bit of time off of work, quite a bit of financial investment into the home. And so when I was promised by Prime that things would be taken care of, I took them at their word. However, they didn't fix everything that they were supposed to fix. So the tree branch that's touching the roof that still has a hole in it, fast forward to today, is now an ongoing problem because now we have a bat infestation. They say that they have no indication of a bat infestation, but I have attached a photo of a bat that, ironically, because they had the outside of the house painted, the bat has paint on it. The dead bat has paint on it. How can you say there's no evidence of a bat infestation when your painters painted the dead bat? So there's bats. There's now a fly infestation. I told them repeatedly that there was water in the home, in the bathroom. The fan in the bathroom was not working. The tenant downstairs actually moved out because of moisture.
That's not true.
That is true. I have it in writing from the tenant.
Sure.
Also, they tried to blame me for flies for not doing my laundry. When I have 4 people living in the home, we do laundry daily, or else we wouldn't have anything to wear. So the laundry is constantly done. The flies were from a combination of rat and bat feces in the attic and moisture coming from an improperly working bathroom fan and just moisture from that bathroom. When we came last time to the hearing, there was already, because Your Honor, what they do is they wait until they're forced. And so when they feel forced, then they will try to remedy things. But if they don't feel forced, they will sit back and do nothing. In the meantime, they'll collect their $2,400 a month rent. So I withheld rent.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When I'm looking through the complaint, your answer and counter complaint, are the is this Mr. Fay? I'll look at it and say, from the okay, let me do this. You have an answer to a complaint, you lay out code violations. What I'm not clear about is
All right, buckle up because this case is a roller coaster from the very start. We're talking about a tenant who moved into a historic home only to find a nightmare waiting inside. Bats, rats, flies, and serious code violations. Paint on a dead bat? Check. Mushrooms in the bathroom? Check. And to top it off, the property management is allegedly dragging their feet while collecting $2,400 a month in rent. Today, we're diving into property management versus Amber, a case that isn't just about code violations. It's about accountability, safety, and what happens when the system fails both tenant and landlord. So who's really in the wrong here? And more importantly, would you have handled this the same way if you were in Amber's shoes? Stay tuned, because the twists are only getting started.
you're talking about a period between well, I don't know what you're talking because there's an allegation that they did not keep it in reasonable repair from March through June. I'm imagining that the June you're referring to is June 2022.
Correct.
And then also again between March 2024 to present.
Correct. And
Okay,
they are
so-
all coming from the same.
Well, please. So from July of 2022 through February of 2024, it's in reasonable repair.
I wasn't having any problems because they were starting to fix things. The code enforcement gave them a time frame to fix things. When we started experiencing new problems was when they started painting the house, when they power washed the house. That's when a lot of things that were living in the wood started coming into my home. I guess that's how they say coming out of the woodwork. Like everything was coming out of the woodwork from the wood of the Victorian home into our house. And my daughter actually got bit and had to go to the hospital. In the meantime, I was telling Prime about all these problems. And
From
they weren't doing anything.
so who got bit?
My daughter, in her sleep. She got bit inside of her ear. Something crawled in her ear and bit her, and she was bleeding in her ear. Which I reported all these things to Prime, and instead of taking care of it, they exacerbated the problem. They allowed their contractors to continue to harass me and my kids. These contractors, I don't even know if they were licensed or whatever, but they were out of control, and my neighbors were witnesses to this. There was a domestic dispute going on between the mom or the wife and the husband. And for some reason, the husband thought that we were on their
Wife
side.
and
It was
husband.
crazy.
Who?
Midwest Concrete, they hired Midwest Concrete to paint the house. When Midwest Concrete came out to paint the house, that's when we started getting like bat activity in the roof. I don't know if it was disturbed by the power washing, but that's also when we got the ants and the bugs. I don't think they ever correctly fixed the roof or even trimmed the tree to make sure stuff wasn't going to be able to come inside. So it's stemming from that initial problem. And I began withholding rent.
And what?
I began withholding rent because I was paying $2,400 a month to live in something that was unbearable.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Why hasn't September been paid?
Because at the last hearing, Mr. Fink asked me if I wanted to stay in the home, and I did at that time. But now I don't, because since then, they've shown me that they're still going to continue. It's never going
Okay.
to end.
All right. So the issue is you moving?
I would like to move because now we have mushrooms in our bathroom.
All right, so when do you want to move?
Well, it would take a little bit of time, probably by the end of next month. It's a big house and I have a lot of stuff. But also, I feel that they owe me back. They owe me some money as well.
But hold it, ma'am. Here's the thing. I've ordered escrow
Mhm,
that hasn't been complied with,
mhm.
which means you're about to get a trial on the issue of possession in the next 14 days.
Mhm.
If that doesn't go your way at trial, we're talking 10 days from that date that you're going to get a writ. So, and then you're going to be out.
I know they've put me in a really bad situation because they don't keep their word and I can't trust them anymore.
Ma'am, I get your position and I'm not trying to be. I understand what you're saying, but as this case came forth, you filed everything that you need to file with the court.
Mhm.
Court ordered you to do certain things and you didn't do them. So now we're at a point where there's sort of this reality that's going to set in about you having possession of that premises, those premises. And what I'm indicating to you, you're saying that you would need to the end of next month to move. I don't have my calendar, right? But today's what, the 12th? 10th. Okay. Today's the 10th. And if they get a trial by the 24th, which they would, then I'm looking at the beginning of October that you'd be facing eviction.
So I might have to get an attorney at this point because I've been trying to take care of it myself and obviously it's.
Ma'am, what do you want to really do? I mean, do you want to litigate all of this stuff? I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm here every
In a
day.
way, because just because
Well, listen to me for a minute, okay? How many kids do you have?
3.
All right. It would seem to me, and maybe I'm wrong, that the central and primary thing for you is to try to figure out how to get you and your kids situated. Right?
It would seem that way, but at the same time, if someone's constantly taking advantage, I feel like, when does it stop?
Okay, if you want to fight, we'll have a fight.
So, Your Honor, is it right that they just collected the rent and didn't do with?
Ma'am, I'm not saying anything's right. I'm trying to explain to you what you're facing. But you're not listening to what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not saying that you can't have a fight about what might be damages. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying with what I've got in front of me right now, I'm looking at a circumstance where if you were not to prevail on this case, they prevail with the eviction, you're out at the beginning of October.
Mhm.
And so then I just ask, and excuse me for being this way, but then I just asked a practical question because sometimes people don't think, what does that mean for you and your kids if all goes sideways?
Well, I plan on moving out. So I don't see that going sideways. I just don't think it's right that this company should take.
Okay, I hear you. So then there are two issues here. There's going to be one issue in terms of money. There's going to be one issue in terms of possession.
Okay. In terms of possession, tell me when I need to be out.
You don't want me to do that.
I mean, I thought we were working it out when we were here last time, but then they've allowed more things to go wrong. I've lost faith in anything that they say. I don't know what else.
Okay. All right. Let's say all of that's true. I don't
Okay.
know it to be true, but let's say all of that's true. You're trying to work this out. You got to get you and your family situated,
Right.
right? So why don't we do this for the moment? Why don't we focus on that piece of it?
Okay.
Okay. You don't want me, I mean, I will because I do it. You don't want me just ordering when you've got to be out. You told me that it's a big house. You've got 3 kids. You've got all of those things that kind of come along with that. So if I were today just say, well, it doesn't seem to me there's a tribal issue in this case as to the issue of possession, and you got to be out in 10 days. Could you do it?
I had to. I mean, is it only the possession?
Yeah. Let's do this. I told you right now that you needed to post the 2,400 into escrow. Could you do it?
And then I have no money to move with?
Didn't ask that. Ma'am, if I asked you right now to put the 2,400 in, could you do it? Yes or no?
It's not a could I, it's I don't know if I should. I'm
Listen very closely to my question. If I told you right now, if I gave an order of this court that you're to put $2,400 into escrow right now, could you do it?
then I would say no.
All right. It wasn't that hard. I have a point for asking that question. I'm not ordering it. Okay. I did not just drop into this seat yesterday. I hear these cases all the time. So here's what I see going on here. Okay. Yes, you've got problems with your landlord. Yes, they may not be doing what you want them to do. But the other part of it, as you indicate, there is indeed a housing crisis in a sense. It's hard to find where you're going to put yourself and your 3 kids. All of that are challenges, right? We
Yes.
can agree on that,
Yes.
right? And so when faced with that, and I dare say this, like with any good mom, you fight. Because sometimes that's what you have to do, right? And as you're fighting, you're trying not to lose sight of really what you have to kind of do.
Right.
And here's what I think you have to do. All right. And I may be wrong. And if I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong. You can't afford to continue to be where you are. You've got to find a place for yourself and your 3 kids that's affordable. That's really where you are. And a lot of what I'm not saying that anything that you're saying isn't true, but a lot of the reason why you're going at it the way you're trying to go at it is to kind of get yourself time. Because what you want is you want you and your kids to land safely.
Well, with all due respect, I worked to pay that rent for 3.5 years, and I was happy to do so. But I don't want to fight for the house anymore. It's not my house. And I'm fighting with a company that's just not doing their job. So you're right. I have a different fight now, and I'm willing to take on a different fight, but it won't be with this company.
What do you want to do, man?
I've decided that I want to move out.
You want to move out? Look, hold it. I'm going to pass this matter. Hey, here's what I need you to think about, okay? If you think by, and maybe it makes some people feel better about yelling at them, saying they don't do anything. And for all I know, ma'am, you may be right. And you may be yelling at them saying they're the worst people in the world. And for all I know, you may be right.
Mhm.
But after you get done saying all of that,
Mhm.
still have you and 3 little people that got to be housed.
Right.
So here's
And
what
that's the
here's
key.
what I'm gonna here's what I'm gonna ask you to do. I'm gonna pass it. Go have a seat and think about what you need to get you and your kids to land safely. I don't want to order you out in 10 days. I don't want to do that if I don't have to do it. It is much better for everybody involved, landlord as well as the tenant. If you don't want to be there, they probably don't want you there now. That's fine. But to try to find some amicable way of sort of parting your ways. I get that you're angry. I get it. But what I'm just indicating to you is when all of that's said and done, I don't know that it gets you where you want to be.
I agree.
Okay. So I'm going to pass the matter. Think about it a minute. Let me try to take care of some of these other ones and then we'll call you back. Okay. I think I had asked you a question and where are you on this now?
I have a question.
Sure.
Would that mean that they could still try to collect the $9,000 that I'm speaking of?
Well, their complaint has the possession issue and then the money issue. So,
So there's 2 issues. So we're talking about possession right now.
well, I was talking about possession because that seemed to me to be at the forefront and the most pressing thing.
Sure. I mean, what's reasonable.
All right. Mr. Pinkwood, does your client have a position as to when they'd like her?
Seems the cleanest day would be September 30th.
Pardon?
The clean day would be September 30th.
All right. Ma'am, what do you think of that? You think that'll work for you? You can make it work. All right. So we'd have September 30th. Now, the other issue would be the money. And there's a number of ways that can be handled, ma'am. I can set an additional hearing. We can run through everything. Or the parties can try to resolve that monetary issue, or I can set it for trial on the money part.
I would like to have my say on the issue. I would feel better if I at least got to be heard on that issue.
Okay, so you want me to have that proceed toward trial on the money? All right. And why don't we do this? Pendant to vacate premises by September 30, 2024. All right. Then I'll adjourn the monetary issue. Now, I should let you know, ma'am. So after that point, they're going to do an inspection. And so there could be additional amounts added on their claim because of what they may claim to be damages. Okay? You understand that? All right. What do we got? In October.
4th is a Friday.
Yeah, but if we're going to do a full trial on it or potentially do a trial, I'm probably going to have to get it Tuesday.
We could do October 15th.
15. All right, that may be better. Why don't you look to block the first anyway? October 15th, 2024 at 9 a.m. All right. At that proceeding, ma'am, you will try to do a final settlement conference. I'm going to call that a final settlement conference. See if we can resolve the money issues. If we can't, then it's likely I would set a full-blown trial at a later date. Okay, fair enough.
May I submit an order on the 7-day rule that says that she vacate by the 30th? If she doesn't, we can get a possession judgment in writ.
Yes.
First.
On the first.
I'll do that.
Did you understand that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay.
And the rent is an escrow.
Since rent that she's posted in escrow and there's the money issue, I'm going to hold that pending resolution of that monetary issue. All right, thank you.
What an intense ride through this legal battle. Here's the bottom line. Amber faced years of neglect in a historic home, ranging from safety hazards to infestations, while property management failed to properly address her complaints. After detailed testimonies, inspections, and counterclaims, the court ultimately prioritized both legal procedure and practical outcomes. Amber has until September 30th to vacate the premises, and the monetary dispute will proceed to a trial or settlement conference later in October. This case underscores the importance of documenting property issues, understanding tenant rights, and navigating the complexities of eviction law. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.